Hi, and welcome to today's Motivational Monday Moment with Tracee Randall, the CMO, that's the Chief Motivational Officer of Experience Connections. If you're seeing this live video, it means that you are part of our Experience Connections open group, which means we gather women from all over the country, all over the world, to network together online. Just a little bit of background about Experience Connections in case you are new to the group. What we do is we have women's meetings, networking meetings all over the country. Our base is in Atlanta, Georgia, and my business partner, Carol Neal, and I have been kind of running Experience Connections over the past year. Want to thank Bonnie Ross Parker for the incredible spirit that she has brought to Experience Connection. She's our founder, and we are a 15-year-old women's networking organization. So welcome. I hope that you can hear me well and see me well. You know, technology is amazing. And what I thought I would do is every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I would go live on this group to share just a small networking nugget, a tip, an insider tip that will help you increase profit. One of the resource that I'm getting my tips from is actually a book collaborative that Carol Neal and I did, along with some other incredible male and female entrepreneurs. This is Insider Tips Volume 1. We have 2 volumes, and what we have here is 100 innovative ways to increase profit. I see that our CEO, Carol Neal, has joined us. Welcome. And you know that I am going to be sharing your insider tip first today. What I wanted to do was share a networking nugget, a tip that will empower you when you go to an Experience Connections event or any networking event anywhere in the country. So here's what the title of today's insider tip is: Plan Ahead to Follow Up. And again, this was written by Carol Neal, my business partner, from the Insider Tips book. We actually have, I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 14 incredible authors in our first book, collaborators. Some of them are Experience Connections leaders, and we also have book 2, which is available as well. But book 1 has tips specifically on networking, and this one is so important and so powerful. So this is what Carol talks about in her tip: plan ahead to follow up. Well, every single one of us, whether we're a novice networker or a seasoned one, what we know is that the fortune is in the follow-up. We know that. When you follow up after a networking event, that means that you reconnect with that person, you just touch bases with them. And what we know is that most people don't purchase from us or even collaborate or refer on the very first time you connect with them. It takes 8 to 12 touches in order to make the sale. Now, when we go to a networking event, and this is just an extra bonus event to do, is to create relationships that will blossom into collaborative ventures where we can refer each other, maybe do business together, do something collaboratively. And that's a huge way to have a partnership when we network. Maybe it's to connect to actually send referrals to other business builders, to other women entrepreneurs. That's the real reason we network, if we're doing it right. And that's another whole tip that we'll do next Monday. But let's talk about what happens typically when you go to a networking event. It's an amazing experience, especially if you go, hey there, Tina Torres, I'm going to be talking about you. It's an amazing opportunity, when we go to a networking event, to meet socially other women. One of the reasons that women go to networking events is because it's very social, and especially an Experience Connections networking event, because we're meeting in someone's home over lunch or dinner, and we really have time to form relationships. And for so many of us as entrepreneurs, especially working from home, it's a great way to get out there and meet women. But so many times what happens is we go to the networking event and that's it. We don't do what's the most important thing, and that's the follow-up. So let's talk about planning ahead to follow up. I love it. This is what Carol suggests, and I'll have to say Carol Neal is one of the best when it comes to referral marketing and going to networking events. Here's what she suggests that you do, and it's priceless. Before you go to the event, let's say that you've signed up to go to one of the Experience Connections networking events, okay? And let's say it's next Thursday in Woodstock, just to throw that out there. Well, what you want to do first is you want to connect with the promoter of the event or the Experience Connections leader or whoever's running that event. You want to make yourself valuable to that host. Why? Because she's got an incredible center of influence, and you want to show yourself to be valuable to that leader, to that host of that event. And the way you do that is maybe reach out privately on Facebook, or send them an email and say, hey, I'm coming to your event next Thursday. What is it? What can I do to help you? How can I support you in this event? And of course, the Experience Connections leaders are going to be sending out exactly the format of the event and how it all works and what to expect. But many events don't do that. So you want to reach out and ask, what do I expect? Should I prepare a 1-minute or a 30-second commercial? Is there open networking, or is it all formal? Find out more about the event. And then how can I be of value to the host? And you also, if there's a meetup or an Eventbrite or a Facebook event, you want to really take a look at who else will be at that event. You want to start building preliminary relationships with those women, in this case, that will be at the event. Why? It shows value about who you are. And then ladies, you want to help promote the heck out of that event. Not just so that the event is, out there and on social media, but because you want to show value to that host and leader, that you're a promoter, because she's going to really take notice. And as Carol Neal, my business partner, just mentioned, you're going to stand out from the crowd. You're going to be different. You're going to differentiate yourself from anyone and everyone else there. So you want to share that event on social media and put a plug in. Hey, I'll be at this event. It's going to be awesome. Who else would like to come? When she sees you promoting and just sharing, it takes 2 seconds to share someone's event, she's going to be blown away. And the other people that are coming are going to be, wow, this person really has a great center of influence and is really savvy. So now's the day of the event. You go and you be prepared and you be organized. Yes, as Carol Neal said, do your research in advance. I know that that I'm taking your tip, Carol, but it's so good. I had to start off with this one because it's so important. Here is the key. Prior to going to the event, every one of us should have a calendar. Now, a schedule. If you're in business and you're not doing it as a hobby, you should have a calendar. Now, I believe in having a paper calendar, not just a phone calendar, because you can take a look at your week in a glance. There's my week in a glance of June, and you can actually see where you're supposed to be and why. And you fill in your calendar with all of the events you're going to, all of the things that you need to do. But here's where most people fail. They never schedule their follow-up. I'm going to repeat that. Most people never put on their calendar the schedule of their follow-up. They put all their events on the calendar. They put when they have to, their phone calls and all of those things that, you normally put on a calendar, but you actually need to schedule your follow-up. So, for example, Carol and I were at an event on Friday. So we know that we have to schedule some time to do follow-up from the people that we met at that event. We also had an all-day event on Saturday where we knew we'd meet a lot of people, and then one on Saturday night. So our calendar was full for Friday and Saturday. So on Monday, which is the next working day, because this is a business for me, what I have on my calendar is a 2-hour slot that says follow-up. And I make it a priority that for that 2 hours, and it might not take me the full 2 hours, but for that time slot on my Monday calendar, that I do nothing but follow up with the women or men that I met at the event. And I'm going to follow up by friending them on Facebook, by emailing them. I'm going to follow up not trying to sell them my company or product or service, but just to touch them and say, guess what? I enjoyed meeting you. I look forward to collaborative and referrals. How can I continue to serve you? Here's what we know, and Tina Torres, if you're still watching, you know this is the case. Most people, I would venture to say 90% of the people don't follow up at all. So you're going to stand out from the crowd, but you don't want to follow up with, hey, buy my product. Follow up with, how can I be of service to you? See, that's going to help them want to get to know you better. And then Carol just put it out there on the comment, perfect timing. You want to make a connection. No matter what, you want to try to connect the women or men that you've met at the events on Friday or Saturday, and you want to connect them in some way with someone else that would be a collaborative resource or referral for them. And while you're at that meeting, you want to tell them that you're going to do that, to expect that from you. So if you tell them, you better be credible and do it. And the only way you're going to do it is if you have it on your calendar. If you don't, things will get in the way. You won't really make the time to follow up. You'll have good intentions, but other things are going to get in the way. So my follow-up time today is from 3 to 4:30 p.m. I've already got it on my calendar to follow up from the Friday and Saturday events that I went to today between 3 and 4:30. I'm going to do some three-way email connections. I'm going to connect people on Facebook. And then another great benefit that you can have is that you are a part of Experience Connections Open Group. So one of the ways that you can really connect and follow up with people is to invite them into this open group. And you don't want to do it without their permission, because we know that so many people on Facebook are just inviting people into groups to try to sell them or whatever. But what you want to do is either at the event or after the event, you private message them and you say, listen, I have an incredible networking resource for you. It's a women's organization called Experience Connections. We have an open group, and if it's okay with you, get their permission, I'm going to invite you into Experience Connections open group and connect you with women there from all over the country. Now, what we know is that the bulk of the women in Experience Connections open group are from Atlanta, but we really have limited ourselves by not inviting other people into the Experience Connections open group. And what you want to do is you do want to invite them in, but you also want to introduce them to the group. And you can scroll down from this live video and see how Carol Neal, our CEO, has been introducing and welcoming so many new people to the Experience Connections open group. And then, so that's part of the follow-up. I want to get back to the tip. The follow-up is connect them. Connect them through collaborative three-way emails and texts, however whatever is the best venue for you and them. Connect them to our Experience Connections open group and welcome them onto the group. They will think you hung the moon. And it's a follow-up process that's so important. And, again, you just want to continue to touch them. Now, I am going to give a shout out for two systems that I believe are extremely important for follow-up. One is an email follow-up system called Lead Outcome. And I'm going to ask my business partner, Carol, if she'll just type that out for you. And it is a great opportunity to do some, Lead Outcome is a great way to do some automated follow-up that is powerful. And I actually, Carol and I actually have taught a class in the past on the power of Lead Outcome and how it really works to generate really some soft touches that follow up indefinitely with your people that you meet. And you definitely want to not just go there on your own. You definitely want us to help you with how to do that follow-up with Lead Outcome. And if you're interested, you can put a comment here and we'll reach out to you about Lead Outcome email follow-up. It is phenomenal. The other system that I want to tell you about is one that's called Send Out Cards. And my BFF, thank you, Carol. My BFF, Tina Torres, is here, and she's a Send Out Card expert. We have others that are part of this, but I know that she had joined me online live, and we've got many experienced connection leaders that are part of Send Out Cards. Why? Because it's an incredible follow-up system. It's actually a real greeting card saying, hey, it was great meeting you. You know, what you want to do is stand out from the crowd. You want to be different. And we know, again, it takes 8 to 12 touches before anyone really even, you've got to create trust. You've got to create a likable, you know, they got to like you in order to do business with you. And they've got to see you as a great referral source. Now, what will happen is when you take the time to do that, you think, wow, Tracee, that takes a lot of time. Not if you systemize it, not if it's automated, not if it's just a part of your follow-up. And if you don't do it, guess what? The event is just a social event. It's not a true networking experience. But what we know as experts in the networking arena and industry is that follow-up is key, and the fortune is in the follow-up. I cannot tell you how many times I go to a networking event and I mean to follow up with someone there that I want to do business with, or maybe even buy their product, but because they don't follow up with me, I never enter in. I never reconnect with them. And then, but here's what happens. When they follow up with me, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I really wanted to know more about your product, or I do have someone that I can refer you to. So as Tina said, the follow-up is important, and it is valuable and worth the time, because what happens is you're going to make a great sale. You're going to get a good referral or a collaborative partner from this, and it is so worth the time and effort. Kimberly Carswell has come on. She's one of our Experience Connections leaders. Hi, Kimberly. So excited to have you here. Kimberly, yeah, Carol and I believe that lead outcome is better than constant contact. It has some great aspects to it that really make it powerful. That's why we chose lead outcome. And actually, what we'll do is we have a link for a 14-day free trial, or I believe it's a $1 14-day trial for lead outcome, and you can take a look at it. One of the things I love about lead outcome is that you have some great support that teaches you how to do lead outcome and answers your question. Real people. You know, I'm great, you know, technology-wise, but I like talking to a real person, and we have real people with the lead outcome that will help you answer your questions and get it all set up for you and with you. So I love that part of it too. But that's my insider tip, and the most important thing that I want, let me see if there's anything else, because I want to make sure that I haven't left out. The most important thing I believe of this tip is to get your calendar, and whenever you schedule to go to a networking event, put on your calendar what day within the next day or so. It needs to be immediate. Every day that passes weakens the follow-up. So it needs to be an immediate follow-up by email, on Facebook, somehow, within 24 hours, 48 hours tops, if it's a Friday or Saturday event. I always leave my Mondays clear for follow-up. That's my big follow-up day, but anytime you put an event on your calendar, there has to be a place within 24 to 48 hours that you will follow up. One of the biggest mistakes that most entrepreneurs make and networkers make is that they go to too many events and never follow up. So don't overbook your schedule with events if you can't do the follow-up. So that's been today's motivational moment with the CMO of Experience Connections. This has been Tracee Randall with an insider tip: plan ahead to follow up. Thanks so much for joining me live, and if you like the information on this video, please share it with your center of influence. We appreciate it. Bye, everybody.